Yes, my friends, and welcome back to the Jon Mahon Show, powered as always by Forever Loud.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
To me and you.
Just you and me, baby.
Yeah. Monday nights.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw, baby.
I quite like doing it on Monday.
Yeah.
I've got into the swing of things.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I started running.
Have you?
Yeah.
Let's go, Oliver.
I feel like a new man. Well, I say new man. I feel old and achy.
It hurts, doesn't it?
But it's baby steps, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's getting the first week out of the way of running.
Yeah.
Then I'll start showing it.
Are you stretching as well? Dude.
I know. It's
As a
fair.
man who's torn his Achilles.
I do stretch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like 5 minutes. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Speaking
Limber.
of baby steps,
Oh.
well, we'll talk about this a bit later. But you meet 6.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
they got a song called Baby Steps.
do they?
What's that song? I can see it, the music video, and he's like that. He says, "Babies." I don't know. We'll figure it out. If someone can
Anyone in the
know,
chat right now, does Yumi at 6 have a song called Baby Steps?
does it have the words "baby steps" in it, or am I just? Is it like the Mandela effect?
Yeah. Is this like the cornucopia and the fruit of the loom?
Maybe it existed in a different universe.
Yeah. The multiverse
Yeah.
of route.
Anyway,
Yeah. How we doing?
yeah, good. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. Yeah. 6 Nations are back. As a rugby fan, it's good to have some rugby back after a rugby World
What
Cup.
nations?
So it's Italy, France, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and England.
I guess they are nations, aren't they?
All of them are nations, yeah.
It's not like continents, is it?
No.
That's just one continent.
Yeah, well, the UK does have a team, the British Lions. They play every 4 years. They go to like New Zealand, Australia, or South Africa. So, yeah, just watch that. What about you?
Loads of chunky men running into each other.
I do love sports with big, sweaty men. I'm a big pro wrestling guy as well. What about you? What was your
You
weekend?
into pro wrestling?
Yeah.
You haven't mentioned it.
Have I not? Well, we're going to be talking about pro wrestling a lot on today's show, actually.
Or the bastardized football, the
The
American
bastardized
version.
football, yeah, the way they didn't use their feet as much. How was your weekend?
Good. I didn't do much.
Good.
At all.
Nice.
Sometimes it's good to do nothing.
Yeah, just have a fuck all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Played PlayStation
nice.
and sat around in the old in my boxes.
Fantastic. Well, there's a great image of Ollie to get today's show started. Just picture him in your
Just a
underwear.
little insight into my life.
That's what you're meant to do when you're nervous, isn't it? Picture people in their underwear.
Has that ever worked?
I've never been in a position where I've needed to do it.
I haven't pictured people naked, but I've done many a presentation, and there's nothing that I could do to counteract how bad I hate presentations.
You're not a big public speaking guy, are you?
Nah, and especially when it's like, only public speaking I've really done is like corporate presentation shit.
Yeah. And this show.
But then it's like you're sat in a room full of like your bosses. But I feel like there's a different type of pressure.
Yeah.
You're like
office-based pressure.
yeah. And it's just an unnatural thing to do.
Yeah.
Pitch in front of
Well, you're talking to a guy who presents for a living, so...
Yeah. Do you know what? I did the Heavy Music Awards twice.
Yeah, you crushed that.
But both times I got very drunk. And all I had to say, really, was, let's check out the nominees. Actually, me and Alex, my old boss, did the first ever Heavy Music Awards.
House of Ands.
At House of Ands. And it was us and Creeper co-presenting. And you'd think, like, they're the artist, they're the actor who is used to being on stage speaking all the time.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd give them the lines to say. But they gave me and Alex like a fucking paragraph. It was like, what do we do? I can't remember what the award was. But it was like, it was like live music. It was like, live music is the life force of the music industry. I had like a little paragraph to read.
Go. Did you have the teleprompter?
Yeah, but they put it on the floor, which is just the worst place to put one.
Yeah, because I remember when I did it at Wembley, they said that there's a teleprompter in front of me.
So they have like the see-through one.
The see-through one, yeah. And they were like, use it if you want, but they were like, effectively, all you really need to say is the nominees are, and then after that, the winner is Bad Omens with the Death of Peace of Mind.
How did that go?
Great, up until I had to say the album name.
Got away with it.
It's because right, I was retelling this story to someone else the other day. It's like when you say peace of mind, it's like, I just do it for the peace of mind. Like, it would give me the peace of mind if I do that. Or
so it's Death of Peace of Mind.
Yeah, that's the album name, Death of Peace of Mind. Whereas like you naturally want to put the word "the" into it. It's like, I just for the peace of mind. Can I just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no peace of mind had.
There wasn't. No, it was just pure anxiety.
They did. They weren't there though.
Yeah, exactly. Like Noah was too busy doing his cool introduction from a stage at some festival.
Yeah. Can't believe they didn't fly just to accept that award.
Just so I could give him an award. Well, my friends, you will be rewarded on today's show because we've got so much coming up for you. How was that for a segue?
Awarded, rewarded, yeah. Good.
Sound. We have got so much to talk about in hour one because news is flying left, right, and centre. But in hour two of today's show, we will be joined by Saints of the Undead Clothing. Lee, who formed this brand, has worked with some incredible names, friends of the show as well, people like Motionless in White, Atreyu, but then, as alluded to, big pro wrestling guy over here, and he's done stuff with the likes of Saraya in AEW, formerly known as Paige from WWE, as well as Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest from the Judgment Day. So very excited to talk clothing within rock music and metal in hour two.
Yeah. Maybe get some free garms. Maybe we can make you we could talk him into making you an outfit.
Imagine. Dude, like his work must be worth so much because I'm fairly sure, I'm like 99% sure when Saraya wrestled at Wembley Stadium for AEW, she came to the ring wearing one of his jackets.
Sick. Yeah. And they've got a bit of cash, haven't they?
AEW. Oh yeah, pro wrestlers love throwing money into the ring gear.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
So that's hour two.
Isn't Saraya? She's from Norwich, isn't she?
Yeah.
One of my mates. Shout out, little small Paul Gull.
Small Paul Gull.
I think you might have met him. I went to uni with him, but he grew up. I think he went to the same school as her.
No way.
Yeah,
that's a great 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, that's like one.
Yeah, it didn't have to look very far for that.
Is that 2 degrees or 1?
1 degree, I believe.
Yeah.
A degree of separation. Well, in hour one of today's show, we got so much news to talk about. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite artists, Illenium. He did a huge show over the weekend at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, performing his albums in entirety, and loads of big name features came out for that one. The Ghost Inside, and we were joined by Chris, the guitarist of The Ghost Inside, last week. They've announced a brand new album and a brand new song.
Didn't say it though, did he?
Definitely didn't, no.
We were just talking. I don't think he actually knew.
Yeah, I don't think he knew, because as soon as this show finished, Chris actually messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey man, we're announcing everything next week. And I was like, we probably should have had you on next week. But still very grateful for his time. So many of the stories that he told were unbelievable.
And we'll check out his riffs.
Yeah, on the new song Wash It Away. New album Searching for Solace on the way too this year. We'll be talking about Shikari's big headline tour that kicks off this week. This week? Yeah, it's this week. Fever 333 supporting as well.
Annoyingly, they're not doing a Birmingham show.
Are they not?
No.
That's annoying.
I feel like the closest ones...
Nottingham?
Nottingham, yeah.
Nottingham. Yeah, probably have to go to Nottingham. And then we'll be talking about Yumi at 6's big announcement, which Ollie alluded to at the start of today's show. Baby steps.
They are. Sadly, but I mean, 20 years.
Yeah, hell of a run.
Fucking
hell of a run.
Most bands don't make 20 years.
Nah.
So.
Yeah. Hell of a run. Good run from Yumi at 6, but we'll get into that in a second. But where we want to start on today's show is... Speaking of announcements, the massive news that came out earlier on today. What a Monday morning treat this was if you're a Sleep Token fan, because we found out that to close out 2024, Sleep Token are going to be headlining some of the biggest rooms this country has to offer.
It is crazy, isn't it? When you think about it.
That's the run that Bring Me have just done, minus 102 in London.
Yeah, like... This time last year, I feel like it was just after like the first 2 singles came out.
Bro, they were playing the O2 Academy in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Main room O2 Academy.
O2 that was that like 2,000, 3,000?
3 was standing. 3 was seating.
3,000 tickets. And fast forward a year. Well, this is the end of the year. But I imagine it will sell out quite quick.
Oh, dude,
They're
like
20,000.
I wish there were betting odds because I want to know what the under/over is on how long this is going to take to sell out across the board. Genuinely, like it's ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. Starting off at Glasgow Hydro, Manchester, Birmingham on a Thursday, London on a Friday night at the O2.
Yeah.
That's going to be fucking ridiculous. And then wrapping up at Cardiff's Utility Arena. Huge run. And I genuinely want to know how many sold out stickers are going to be slapped on that tour poster the day that goes on sale.
They sold out Wembley in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
that's impressive, right? But they sold out Radio City in New York in 10 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Like, and that's...
sold out Red Rocks. I mean, they've sold out the whole US tour.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we're going to talk about as well is like the global domination of Sleep Token can't be disputed now. Like, it is unanimous. This band...
He's got to deal with it.
This band are taking over. Like, we're talking there about the US run that they've got coming up. And what?
The only one that isn't sold out
are the festival dates.
The festival.
And
they've just added a new one.
And there's a low ticket warning in Montreal as well.
Yeah.
But that's insane for a band from the United Kingdom to be doing those kinds of numbers in the United States this early on in their career as well is borderline unheard of.
3 albums in. It's been done before.
No, but but selling out like this though.
No, but the thing that's different with this is just how quick they went from, like you say, 2,000-3,000 cap, to 10 plus cap.
Yeah,
like within a year, like pretty much by the time the album came out last year, they were one of the biggest bands in the world.
Oh, dude, without a doubt. Like the way in which the Summoning went viral, because I forgot that Sleep Token tour we're talking about where they played the O2 Academy in Birmingham, that was like January last year.
Didn't they play, was it Granite for the first time ever?
It was the Summoning and Chokehold both got their live debut because they opened with Chokehold. Yeah, they opened with Chokehold and went straight into the Summoning, and that was the live debut.
But I swear it was like, because they started the tour, so they've been playing the Summoning, and then they released Granite.
Let's have a
look.
look.
And then the first show they played after they released Granite was Birmingham, and that was the live debut.
I know, it's the Summoning.
The Summoning live.
The Summoning had its live. Yeah, pull up that set list. Let's have a look at that because this will be an interesting juxtaposition, actually. Right, so this is the set list for Birmingham last year. So opening with Chokehold.
And Granite live debut.
Oh, so Granite got its live debut. Oh, well remembered. Let's go.
I think I watched it on YouTube because I was like, because I think it just came out and then they played it like the next day.
Yeah. Well, Aqua Regia getting its live debut as well.
They got so they did the sort of 2 single releases, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they did.
So they did like Chokehold and Summoning.
But that's mad though. When you look at that set list, in a second we're going to pull up the Wembley set list as well because I imagine that Wembley set list is what they're going to be touring around America, and it's probably going to be the US run as well. One sec, put us up there as well because this is ridiculous. This set list is one of the best set lists I've ever seen.
My only beef, I mean, there's a few beefs. Obviously, I thought they'd do the doubler with The Night Does Not Belong to God and Euclid.
What?
Imagine, would they end it with? Because obviously, like, the end of Euclid has The Night Does Not Belong to God.
Yeah.
Would they do it, like, back to back?
What I would do in that situation, one second, let me pull up the track listing for Take Me Back to Eden, because this is how I'd work it. So, yeah, perfect. Right, so Take Me Back to Eden's in the set list. Right, so Take Me Back to Eden, 16, Euclid, 17, and then it just repeats the do 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 do. That the band go off stage, they come back on, and then they encore The Night Doesn't Belong to God.
So if you're watching
Vessel,
Big
V,
I know you're a fan of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, make that happen.
Yeah, imagine that as a run
at the O2.
But let's just go through this Wembley set list for a second, because neither of us were there that night, but as massive Sleep Token nerds, opening with Chokehold, again, small thing I would have liked to have seen Chokehold just go straight into the summoning, just because like that 1-2 sucker punch to open up, Take Me Back to Eden is so damn good.
See, I've always... Do you know what? I would have let Dark Signs, they haven't played in a while, have they?
No, they...
Did they play?
I want to say they...
I didn't see them. I've only seen them on the festival run, but they only did like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I want to say they did at one of the festivals in America that I saw them at. Blue Ridge, they had a longer set, so I want to say that it was maybe Blue Ridge. But yeah, Dark Signs is a fucking rager of a tune. I'll tell you what always surprised me in Sleep Token sets. No matter how short their sets are, they always play like that.
Yeah, that's a curveball for me.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't put it in like... I like the song,
yeah.
but I wouldn't put it in my top 10.
Yeah, especially like when they cut out stuff like Jaws or The Offering. And it's like, but like that stays in the set list.
Maybe they just really like it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like maybe
really like that.
Maybe Vessel is a big Kirk Cousins fan for you American football nerds. Do you like that?
Means nothing to me.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. But I tell you what, that's a very strong run post like that, like Aqua Regia into Rain, and then I imagine like the interlude
with dances as well.
Yeah, Sleep Token with.
I like the people.
Annotate.
Yeah, because obviously I don't think we spoke about it, but Vessel lost his voice.
Yeah, that was the biggest news going into that show.
Yeah, so then they did. Because everyone was like, "Oh, he couldn't sing," but it looks like he only didn't sing for like 3 songs.
Yeah,
and then got
which,
his voice back.
given the run of songs where it says audience songs for Vessel, those are 3 songs that push him in loads of different directions. Yeah. Like the summoning, he goes from like falsetto to screaming, like in a heartbeat. Granite surprised me because Granite's very one note based.
The thing is, if you feel like you've lost your voice, you don't want to just go into a song. He's probably just using those 3 songs to sort of sing to himself, being like, "Can I do this?
Yeah.
Have I got my voice back?"
Yeah. I suppose Granite's quite an easy audience song as well.
Also, but like you forget, he still got all the backing singers.
Yeah, I can imagine they sounded amazing in the mix that night. And to be fair, Love You One, that's an audience participation song start to finish anyway.
Yeah.
Right, so then we move on to effectively like the third act of the show. So after the third interlude, come back on stage with Atlantic, which again, interesting choice.
I think it's a little fan favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not my favorite. I think in general,
this place will become your tomb.
Isn't my strongest Sleep Token album.
Thing is,
but I feel like a lot of people got into them from that album. So I feel like not because it seemed like when I got into the first album, it still seemed like they were quite a small band.
Yeah,
like it was quite a cult following.
Yeah,
and then I feel like the second album exposed them to way more people.
Oh, 100%. Well, especially with tunes like Alkaline, which is Alkaline on the set list. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's literally up next. Yeah, like Alkaline, The Love You Want. I'll tell you what was really underrated from that record as well. The last song on it, Missing Limbs. That's such a beautiful
They played that in Birmingham, that album
at the Institute.
And he just came on at the end with with electric guitar.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. It was
that.
just him and the guitar. He sang it.
That was beautiful, that was.
Beautiful.
And then if we're like speaking of beautiful, actually no, to be fair, there's one more surprise on there, which is Hire's a great song. What was the song before Alkaline? Was it Nazareth? Yeah, Nazareth. Choosing Nazareth over something like Jaws.
Is Nazareth the first ever single?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's...
It's like from the same era as like Calcutta.
Because the first... I think it's Nazareth. It's basically the first thing they ever uploaded on YouTube. And if you go on like the... Should we get it up? Because it's quite interesting. Because it's the first time anyone like put Nazareth in. It's the first time anyone sort of knew anything about Sleep Token. And
it's not even on their channel, it's on Basic Records.
Yeah, in like the description. Or maybe it's not Nazareth, maybe it's
Calcutta.
But basically, one of the songs is like a backstory of Sleep Token.
Well, so let's try Calcutta then, if that's the case, because I'm genuinely curious about those.
Wait, what was the first ever Sleep Token?
I always thought it was Calcutta.
Or maybe they've just deleted it. But
maybe.
one of them used to have basically like the description of what Sleep Token is. And like the description of what sleep is. So that was like the birth of it.
Like Vessel's origin story.
Yeah. But that's like the only thing that's been like publicized by the band, I guess.
Damn.
It's quite cool.
That's awesome. Because, like, I was surprised by Nazareth over... I thought they'd have gone for Calcutta over Nazareth, but then again, I thought they'd have gone for Jaws over both of them.
Show me those pretty
They haven't played Jaws in ages, either.
They played it last year because the drummer posted a video of him playing it live.
But for me, as soon as Nazareth finishes, that's where this set gets fucking ridiculous, because it goes into Alkaline, which for me is one of my favorite Sleep Token songs of all time. Like that intro just before Let's Talk About Chemistry. Yeah. And then, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to go on record and say this right now. My favourite Sleep Token song of all time is Ascensionism. I can't stop listening to it, man.
And with dancers as well. Imagine that.
Yeah, with dancers. Hopefully they've got dancers at the end of the year on this ridiculously huge tour. But then, Higher, and then into Take Me Back to Eden. Like, again, I'd have probably cut Nazareth. And then if I'm doing Take Me Back to Eden, just do Euclid straight after. Cut one of the other ones as well. The Night Doesn't Belong to God, Into the Offering, and then finish. Just go 3 sundowning songs to finish the set.
You'd think, because they've never played Euclid live yet.
Are they not?
No. So you'd think maybe they'll save it for this.
Potentially.
This run.
Potentially, yeah. And then I don't think they're going to end the show on Bloodsport. I think that was just for Wembley.
Just for Wembley.
Yeah. Which breaks my heart, man, because I've never seen Sleep Token play Bloodsport live. It's the song that got me into this band, and they when they did the Download Festival pilot, I heard that they had like tech problems before going on stage, and they had to cut a song from that set because it was the set times were so strict. So they had to cut the song they were going to play at the end, which was going to be Bloodsport. Then when they played it at the Heavy Music Awards, I was working the live stream and I was doing an interview at the time. Sleep Token were doing the tail ender, so
they only did like 4 songs at that.
But one of them was Bloodsport.
Oh, what? Heavy Music Awards?
Yeah.
I have seen it then. I was there. I don't remember them playing Bloodsport.
Really? I got told by a couple of people.
Maybe he had too many beers. I don't remember. I remember they definitely played Love That You Want.
Yeah. I got to be a side
I don't remember anything of that. I remember I was stood on the balcony and I was loving it. Had my hands in the air.
I'm still all of the love you want.
And that rarely happens with me.
Yeah.
I'm usually just that.
Yeah. Like you can tell Ollie's having a good time as if he starts nodding whilst the arms are crossed.
Yeah, that's me having a good time.
So I guess our last question to wrap this segment up is who's going to be buying tickets for Sleep Token's biggest ever headline UK tour to date? I'm not sure when they go on sale.
Should have a look.
Yeah. I want to say, usually when they do announcements like this, it's usually the Friday that's coming up. So I imagine it's probably pre-sale Thursday night.
Yeah. Artists pre-sale via the mailing list. So if you're on the mailing list, you'll get a link. I think you get a code.
Okay.
So that's how they do it these days. So everyone doesn't just pile onto the website. 10 a.m. Wednesday.
10 a.m. Wednesday?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So if you're signed up through their website, you'll get an email saying, here's your pre-sale code. Then you can go in on Wednesday from 10 a.m.
Let's go. So, Sleep Token fans.
Everyone was complaining about the US one because they did the same thing for that. And a lot of people were like, I got sent the code the day after they went on sale. So sold out.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Well, make sure if you want to be, especially standing ticket for Sleep Token's arena tour at the end of this year, that you are on the mailing list Wednesday, it sounds like. But yeah, I imagine general sales probably get on sale Friday then, if that's the case.
What else is in the email?
I'd wager good money on it being general sale Friday.
General sale Friday 10 a.m.
So general
Pre-sale.
sale Friday 10 a.m. if you want to go see Sleep Token at the end of the year and watch that band sell out immediately as they do.
Watch
anytime.
them ascend
Yeah. Get ready to worship.
at the Church of Vessel.
Yeah.
Worship that vessel.
Worship that big V. So that's our first bit of news for the day. Second bit of news, sad news. After 20 years,
Yeah.
Yumi at 6 are calling it.
Well, they're calling it next year, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I guess they've got stuff going on.
So
Well, they got a slam dunk coming up.
yeah, that's what I was going to pull up. So
It was. Did you watch the video?
I
they
did.
posted?
I
It was
did.
Quite emotional.
it got me going. That did. So yeah, as of the tail end of 2025, there'll be no more Yumi at 6. That's what we've got to look forward to
Final
this summer,
UK
though.
Festival.
Is the final UK festival date at Slam Dunk 2024. Take on the World's going to hit so differently that day, man. Like, there's going to be a lot of tears kicking around Leeds and Hatfield on that bank holiday weekend.
The thing is, I feel like it's a perfect final festival for them to do.
Oh, 100%. Well, it's the first big festival they ever played in the UK. Like when, Ben Ray put them on.
2007, I was there.
Yeah.
Millennium Square in Leeds.
Yep.
It was Real Big Fish headlining, then Paramore.
Yep.
There, I feel like Unit 6 opened it.
Yep. Well remembered. Yeah. That's a man who's been around the music industry for a while.
But that's so little history, little backstory. In the old MySpace days, I used to be in a pop punk band, and we had like one single out, and Josh from Union 6 messaged us on MySpace. It was like, oh, I really like your song.
No way!
I want to get you on our like Scottish dates or something of their tour. I guess they had the UK already booked up. And we were like, yeah, obviously we'll do that. And it never happened.
No!
I feel like he wanted it, but the management or whatever said no.
Imagine if a young Ollie Root would have gotten to support Yumi at 6. That would have been like their debut record kind of territory as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, before... What was it called? Take Off Your Colours?
Yeah,
before that came out.
Jeez.
And yeah, but that's like, I discovered them on MySpace.
Yeah.
I think I had the original version of Gossip
Wow.
as my profile song.
Let's go.
Anyone
Save It for the Bedroom was definitely a profile song of mine, without a shadow of a doubt. And The Rumour, do you remember that tune as well? What a fucking banger.
They used to have a live video of them. It wasn't like it was like live filmed video. I think they were playing in like Kingston, like
At the Prism.
Yeah, well, whatever it's called. Back then, it was called something different. But yeah, and they think they had a different drummer at the time.
Oh.
Before Dan.
I want to say Dan. Dan.
I should know. I mean, we've been. You probably interviewed them a bunch of times over the years.
I think it's just Max and Josh that I've interviewed.
Yeah.
Because we did a bit for them for Scuzz TV at Gibson Studios. Do you remember that?
Done Matt, Josh, and Max. Yeah, I think they're the members of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the one I did, it was Josh and Max. And I want to say that was Cavalier Youth album cycle.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, yeah. I'm going to say 2018? 2017?
I'd probably say 2017.
Yeah. Isn't it mad that 2017 is 7 years ago?
Dude,
Is that a good maths?
Someone posted this on Twitter. I want to say State of the Scene, because State of the Scene keep doing this where it's like they'll post something that makes you have an existential crisis, which is if Bowling for Soup wrote 1985 now, it would be about 2005.
We said that when we spoke to Thingy, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah. I brought that up. I told you.
Did you? Okay. I saw it on the internet again this week, and I think when I just saw it written down, it actually made the actual numbers sink in of how horrific that is.
It's a weird thing, though, because I feel like the difference from the year 2000 to like the 80s or to 1980, the difference culturally is way bigger than it is from 2000 to now.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. Hard agree.
Because I feel like we, maybe not early 2000s, but like from mid 2000s, it was like the internet era. So I feel like from then, it doesn't feel like there's been massive cultural shifts. Whereas
Yeah.
if you showed someone from the 80s a mobile phone,
Yeah.
they'll fucking
Yeah.
that shit.
Show them Face ID, they'd be like, what are
Just
you
for
trying
like
to do?
the internet.
Yeah.
Like no one had the internet. So like when we've grown up in it, so I feel like we've just traveled with the times. Whereas like the shift between,
Yeah. And I tell you what they did have in the 80s that it looks as though that we're probably not going to have any more of moving forward. Music television.
yeah.
Yeah, because we've had to
It
say
was-
goodbye again.
Because video killed the radio stuff.
Yeah.
And now YouTube's killed the TV.
Yeah. And in the words of Bowling for Soup, there was music still on MTV back in 1985.
Yeah.
And now there's no more MTV. Well, the MTV still exists, but music television as a whole is unfortunately winding down because we got the news, was it last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kerrang TV is going to be turning off its feed, which brings an end to a lot of people's childhood because I was definitely a kid of this generation who would sit all weekend flicking between Kerrang TV and Scuzz TV and just
Yeah.
ingesting whatever
Well, it
was
was
on there.
Like, how else would you see music videos?
Yeah,
There wasn't YouTube back. Well,
there was, but not in the same way that it is now.
when YouTube first started, it wasn't music videos or
No.
anything. It was just Charlie bit my finger on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I come home from school, go and put on a Scuzz and Kerrang, basically just flip between the two.
Yeah.
Until I land on a Nickelback video.
Are there any songs or any music videos that really stand out to you from that time period?
I mean, there's the obvious ones.
Yeah, like taking out like Bowling for Soup and all that kind of stuff. Like,
There's a bunch of bands I discovered that I don't listen to now. Who was it? Chevelle. Remember them?
Yeah. Was it
re-
Face to the Floor?
Yeah, I really love that band through discovering them on Scuzz or Kerrang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that comes to mind. Feel for a Friend as well.
I never liked Korn as a kid, and I'll tell you why. It's because I hated their music videos. Like the Freak on a Leash one, hated that music video.
That's one of the best music videos ever made.
Oh, dude, I just couldn't stand it. Tell you what, the only Korn music video that I liked, and it's still to this day one of the reason why it's one of my favorite Korn songs is Twisted Transistor. Because of Exhibit being in the music
Exhibit's
video.
in it, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't Lil Jon in that?
Yeah.
or something? Yeah.
And I think Terry Crews is in it at one
The
point.
thing is, you forget, because music videos was such a big part of pushing a band.
Well, bands would get millions for them.
So this is back in the labels used to have such big budgets for music videos, because it's like if your music video blows up on TV,
Yeah.
that's you selling out big shows.
Yeah.
That's you getting to the next level. So they used to put so much money into the
Well, do you remember the Blink one where they were like, here's the check that our label gave us?
500 grand or something.
Yeah, for the rock show. And then at one point in the video, they just obviously run out of things to do. So they just start lobbing money off the top of a fucking pawn shop.
Yeah. I saw an interview with guitarist from Papa Roach.
Mm.
And he was saying their most expensive video was Love Me Not, I think it is. The one where they're in a sort of playground or theme parky thing.
Mm.
And they got the director that did loads of Missy Elliott videos and all these big hip hop videos. And he said that
shit.
was 750 grand or something.
Oh my God. Speaking of music videos, actually, one of my favorite facts of all time is Michael Bay directed Meatloaf's music videos for I'd Do Anything for Love and Two Out Three and Bad. Yeah.
Is there any explosions in it?
No. Other than just Meatloaf's Love Rocket.
Yeah. But that was the thing, it's I think when I joined, so I used to work at Scuzz, if you didn't know. When I joined, I feel like I'd missed the heyday of big budgets. Because I used to hear stories of back in the day, labels used to fly you out to America
Yeah.
and stuff and
Yeah.
treat you to take you to dinner and stuff. I was lucky if I got a sandwich or something. But yeah, it's just a different time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think soon as YouTube started picking up and people obviously people still make big music videos, but they make it predominantly now for YouTube.
Yeah, I got into radio just as those kinds of trips were coming to an end. Like
Yeah.
when I first started working at Kerrang Radio, there were people, when it was based in Birmingham, the presenters that would be like, oh yeah, I'm just getting flown to this country to go and interview this person, and like flown over here to go and interview that person. And then like music changed like quite dramatically, and those kinds of things stopped happening, and like the onus of promotion kind of came.
But it was just like, instead of them paying us to be on their stuff, it's like we just do it. They just do it. They do it for free, but it's like we still have to pay for location. So it comes out of our pocket rather than theirs.
Yeah, that's how much the industry changed.
Yeah.
In a very short amount of time as well. I feel like streaming came along, and then all of a sudden everyone just shit themselves.
Yeah. It's like, where can we cut costs?
Yeah, it's like, all the money's disappeared because no one's buying physical records anymore.
Yeah. And actually, it's happened sort of last week with Universal.
Yeah, Ollie was telling me about this before the show started. I had no idea.
Yeah, so Universal Music have pulled all their songs from TikTok. So anytime you want to make a video and you can go into the music section to add music, there won't be any Universal Music artists, because apparently it's like financial, something about like they're not getting paid enough for the usage. Like their artists aren't getting like residuals or anything.
I thought TikTok was one of the best for doing that though. I thought that was
good for creators.
Oh, is
like,
it?
I feel like music wise, you're not making much from, like, say someone uses your song.
Yeah.
It gets like millions of views. You're not seeing much of that.
But
on the flip side of it, it's a platform that's helped like blow bands up.
Yeah.
Case in point, Sleep Token.
Yeah. Sleep Token, Bad Omens, both bands that have.
So like, even though they're probably not making money directly from TikTok, it's still helping them make money.
Yeah.
In other ways.
Yeah. Like live shows. Yeah.
Just building their fan base basically.
Yeah. Which hopefully there's a workaround that, because like Ollie was explaining to me before we went live about how the impact probably won't be as noticeable on the big artists. It's your smaller artists who maybe have like different deals where they're not directly signed to Universal.
Yeah. So like I think because it's just Universal Music, like umbrella. If you're signed to a small label and your publishing's through, or your distribution's through Universal, it'll mean that your songs won't appear now, which sucks for like smaller bands.
Yep.
So
everything sucks for smaller bands in 2024.
But this is the most like backwards thing, is because now a lot of major labels, especially I imagine Universal, for the past few years, they've probably been telling their artists, "Oh, you need to do TikTok. You need to get songs on TikTok."
And then they're like, we don't like the cut though.
So now it's like, now they've got all these artists that they're like, oh, well, you need to do TikTok, but you can't promote your music on TikTok.
Yeah. It's like, go figure. Yeah. Well, something that is still very much alive and well in 2024 is the UK festival scene. And we've been blessed with a load of huge announcements recently. And the most recent one entering the chat.
Yeah, Neck Deep Fest.
Neck Deep Fest, yeah. We're getting into it. Reading and Leeds 2024. So we already knew that headliners Blink-182, Fred Again, Lana Del Rey and Catfish and the Bottlemen, Cinnamon and Gallagher. But there are so many new additions to this. I mean, obviously, Pendulum sticks out for us as a massive one, which on that Sunday,
it's like they've done the sort of, I feel like Friday at Reading is like the rock day.
Yeah.
And then Saturday's more, I don't know, hip hop and urban. I don't know.
Yes.
And then it seems like Sunday's more dancey.
Yeah. It does seem like they've kind of given each day a genre theme. So yeah, Friday is your main stage at Reading for your rock music related stuff. Obviously taking Two Door Cinema Club out, that massive indie band. But I mean, huge slot for Spirit Box. That's fucking massive.
Well, they've just been, they
nominated
at the
for
Grammys last night and they didn't win.
But
little band called Metallica won.
Of course they did. Of course.
Not that they need it.
No.
But also, the reason I said Neck Deep Fest is like, look how big their name is on both times they're supposed to.
Yeah, so they're headlining the Festival Republic stage, and then like midday main stage.
Yeah. Like, big up.
Yeah, there was a couple of people who were confused about that when they saw the lineup. They're like, "Why is Neck Deep on there twice? Have you made a mistake?" When it's not uncommon for rock bands to pull double shifts.
I remember
Shikari,
Marmosets did it.
I think Shikari hold the record for the most sets over a Reading weekend. They did 5.
5.
Yeah, because they did main stage and then pit stage, and then they did an acoustic one on introducing stage.
No,
Yeah,
that's only 3. Oh, I guess
but then
5.
it was 3.
6.
No, because they only did the acoustic one day, so it was like 3 at Reading, 2 at Leeds.
That makes sense.
But elsewhere on this lineup, you've got on the stage that probably is the most interest to the rock music fans. You got the Amity Affliction, which is good to see those guys coming over here. Saw Amity twice last year.
I don't think I saw them once.
They supported Parkway Drive in New York, and then I saw them at Louder Than Life. Yeah, they were after Sleep Token at Louder Than Life.
Nice.
Yeah. Who else have you got on here? You've got Loveless, who are doing numbers at the moment. Lambrini Girls, who I'd not listened to them, but I keep seeing that name about.
Mannequin Pussy.
Yeah, great band name. Yours truly, who have been crushing it. Like, they get spun on Krang Radio quite a lot. Really good band.
Me? Oh, no, you.
Yeah, yours truly. Yours truly. I see what you did there.
And Loathe. That's a big slot for Loathe.
But I tell you what, the one I'm looking forward to the most is that motherfucker right there. If we're speaking of Grammys, Skrillex actually won the Grammy for his song Rumble with Fred Again and Flowdown, Best Electronic Dance Song at the Grammys, which is huge. So, yeah, that's Reading and Leeds Festival 2024. I mean, if you're into your rock music, there's not a lot of options there, but the ones that you got are great.
I like it a lot better than last year's. I'll tell you that.
I mean, for like, I was sold on the headliners alone. Like, give me Blink, Fred Again, and Skrillex all day long.
Also,
all day.
I don't know if it's controversial, but one of the best festival bands, the Wombats.
Interesting, are they?
Like, you forget how many songs you'd know of the Wombats. And I think they played Reading a couple of years ago, and I watched them, and I was like, this is just like. They played middle of the day on the main stage.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a vibe booster.
Damn.
Because it's just happy indie.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I'll tell you who's got a massive slot as well as Ash Nico.
Yeah.
Huge slot for Ash Nico. I remember I was doing press a couple of years ago at Reading. Yeah. And she was walking around with what can only be described as...
Well, it was a giant clitoris.
Yeah. On legs.
Like, yeah. When I say that, you're imagining like a realistic one. It was like...
No, it was like a cartoon monstery,
yeah,
evil, twisted looking one. But yeah, I mean, I hope the Clip Monster's back at Reading.
Because I feel like I was just waiting around to interview someone, and then she walked in with that, and I was just like, all right. Know what to say.
Yeah, so there's a lot of festival announcements at the moment. What's your favourite festival that's lineup-wise in the UK?
In the UK, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Probably Download. Controversial.
Download's very, very strong. Very, very strong.
I mean, the thing is... It's getting a lot of heat online, but I feel like that's only going to drive the algorithm.
Yep. Keep commenting.
It's like the more people hate on it, the more people see it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people that aren't going to buy tickets because of it, probably very minority. Small
in comparison to the ones that are.
Yeah.
Yep. I 100% agree. Yeah.
Probably going to be loads of Busted fans buying tickets for the first time. Isn't
Yeah. Yeah, dude, 100%. Like, let's keep that gateway band energy going. Well, speaking of bands at Download Festival, there is a band that's going to be on the main stage of Download Festival on Saturday night who are heading out on the road this week. Enter Shikari have got a massive show going, or massive tour going in 2024, and they've got support coming from the Fever 333 as well. And there's a nice little segue.
To Their collab.
They've dropped a tune with each other, so we'll give this
Who's in my grip. I have heard it before, so.
Yeah, I've heard this as well, but we'll give it a quick little spin because there's no way they're not going to play this in the set. And what's awesome as well is Rao did a little breakdown on Instagram the other day of how he made this and where all the sounds came from. Incomprehensible power, growing by the day, growing by the hour. That's such a Shikari riff.
Just imagine Jason just running around the stage. And Ralph.
Just stacking monitors on top of each other like Tetris blocks. Just a fucking curb stomper of a tune, innit?
Yeah, 4 to the floor.
Yeah.
Bow, bow,
just
bow.
Pure drop kicks. And you know that this is going to have some sort of remix energy live as well, don't you? It's so evil. I am a god, it's been verified by the universe, then immortalized. Fight big, but strike big, yeah, you know the vibe. I stare dead in the face.
I think the first time I ever saw Let Live was supporting Shikari.
Was it?
Back in the day, yeah.
No way.
Can't remember what year it was. Early 2010s, probably.
Yeah.
Like 2014, something like that, maybe. 13, I don't know.
I remember when Let Live first came onto the scene and Jason was like really in his chaotic phase.
Yeah.
And they came into Kerrang when it was based in Birmingham and he was just looking all day for somewhere to do a backflip. And in the end, he settled on, you know, those ones where you run up a wall and you put one foot on a wall and then flip over like that.
Yeah.
Just did that next to the boss's desk. And it was like sick. Like it was well worth your time today.
That's how I know he's blind. No, he cannot see me. Do him like Houdini. Man is born into these chains, chooses to live freely. That's the headline, bitch. Like corduroy on pillows. Am I evil, divine, or something in the middle?
I do love a Jason Butler feature. And then the switch.
I think I'm losing my grip. I think I'm losing my grip. I think I'm losing my grip.
Yeah, this is gonna fuck live. So yeah, Enter Shikari heading out on the road very soon. And in fact, speaking of Enter Shikari's social media, Rao posted a little thing on Instagram.
Just quickly, has that video made your eyes really funny?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I've just started looking at your face and your face is moving.
I was like, am I tripping?
No, yeah, like it. Yeah, it's one of those like optical illusion things. But yeah, Rue posted on Instagram. Rao posted on Instagram that he is working on like a little remix for Gap in the Fence, which would be great to see that one on a set list because I can't remember the last time I heard Gap in the Fence live.
I don't think I ever have. Can't remember what it goes like.
It seems like every gap in the fence will be
gap in the fence. I'm sick of these gaps in my fence. that one, yeah.
That one, that's exactly how it goes, bro. Right, we don't have long left in this hour, but before we do, I want to talk about Illenium. Illenium, yeah, because Illenium is one of my favorite producers of all time. And he did some shows in, well, in fact, it was 2 shows in Los Angeles over the weekend at SoFi Stadium, where the Rams and the Chargers play. Sold out both nights, of course, because he's one of the biggest dance producers on the planet. And basically played his 3 albums in entirety, start to finish, but with loads of different production chops and changes and mashups. And it's just fucking ridiculous. Like watching this guy go to work, man. And like the way in which he uses his own songs, it's genius.
What does he? Is he just there doing the?
Well, you'll see in a you'll see in a second. So the first clip I've got to play for you is this cheeky little Numb remix that he does.
Holding you tight what you thought I would be. It's falling
And it's just really good to see alt music getting played in a stadium. For me, it's just real great to see something like Chester Bennington.
Something like a small band like Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Just finally getting the recognition. I don't know if it was just a delay, but that dude didn't know the lyrics. I think it's a delay because he is singing the words.
Yeah. But this this remix is so damn nice. And this is what I mean, like taking a voice like Chester's and putting it over dance music. Mate, how hard does that go? So that's the first one.
What are the... What do you find? What are these little bits?
They're like staging.
Staging.
Yeah, so like there's like different points in the show where he goes and performs from like different stages. You know how like bands have like second and third stages at their own gigs.
He's got loads.
So which clip is this?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Scroll up a second. Oh, this is the upper one. One sec. Go to the third one because I want to say the third one's the. Oh, so yeah, this is the one with Chris from Motionless in White. So this is one of the last songs.
You ready for this shit so fine?
On Illenium self-titled.
I will too. Into nothing ever after. Do we have to face the truth?
But yeah, so that gives you an idea. So like full band setup. So that's Illenium on guitar just behind Chris. And then on keys, on the other side of the stage, he's got Said the Sky, who's his opening act.
Drowning me, so we built it up just to tear it down. But the pieces don't fit now. We're falling apart, we're fading away, pretending the damage doesn't
I like the fire.
Yeah, right.
scars. But now it's too late. We settle for nothing.
Dude, the production is unbelievable. Like this is basically a full band playing a stadium in America.
It's time to bang your fucking head! Bang it!
Right?
We're falling apart, we're fading away, pretending the damage does.
But yeah, you can hear that, man. Like,
That's sick.
so fucking awesome to see. Like, names getting that kind of stage because Swayco and Trippie Redd came out for Story of My Life. Avril came out for Eyes Wide Shut. I imagine if Spirit Box weren't currently on the road with Architects,
yeah.
Courtney probably would have come out for.
They must have flew back just for the Grammys then.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah. I totally forgot about it because they've literally been in Europe with Architects for the last.
I guess if you're nominated for a Grammy, you can't really miss it. Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really want to say, oh, I'm busy that night.
Yeah. The bigger, because imagine just like it's mad that like a band like that are in the same crowd as like Beyonce,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, Courtney tweeted, she was like, oh, I've just looked over and Beyonce's wearing a cowboy hat. I'm really happy. Well, speaking of Motionless in White, who you just saw Chris, lead singer of Motionless in White, coming out with Illenium at SoFi Stadium for the Trilogy shows. Joining us in hour 2 of today's show, we have Saints of the Undead Clothing, who has made custom outfits for people like Chris and the rest of Motionless in White, for bands like Atreyu, as well as pro wrestlers like Saraya, formerly known as Paige in AEW and WWE, and Rhea Ripley, the current WWE Women's Champion. And in hour 2 of today's show, we will be joined by Lee from Saints of the Undead.
Yeah. Some say it's the reason she's the champion.
That's one thing I do want to ask about, because
the
like he has made clothing for a lot of champions. Like one of my questions is gonna be like, as soon as people put your stuff on, is that it? Like it's just winner's blood.
Yeah, it's the winning jacket.
Yeah.
Winner's jacket.
Yeah, it's all in the threads, baby. Well, that is it for hour 1 of today's show, my friends. We will see you in hour 2, where at 8:15 we will be joined by Saints the Undead. In the meantime, go to the toilet, grab a drink, stay hydrated.
Have a shit. I need a shit.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show started.
I probably won't do one now.
You never know. I'm going to tickle Ollie during the break and see what happens. Right, we'll see you in a second. Yes, my friends, and welcome back to the Jon Mahon Show, hour 2, powered by Forever Fucking Loud.
Welcome back, bitch.
Baby!
Thought I'd be a bit crass,
Yeah.
a bit rude.
Don't often catch Ollie swearing.
I don't often swear.
No, you're not a big
I think
swearer.
I say the outro of the show,
Yeah.
but I don't usually F and Jeff throughout.
Yeah, I'm the swearer, the resident swearer. It's the Brummy and me. Right, let's do a reaction. We were joined on last week's show by Chris from The Ghost Inside, who, as we mentioned in hour 1, probably couldn't talk about the news that we received today on last week's show. However, it then came to be pretty much as soon as last week's show finished, the Ghost Inside were going to be announcing so much today. Brand new album on its way, which called Searching for Solace.
Has it got a release date? It is April 19th.
2024, baby. So let's get into it. Brand new Ghost Inside single called Wash It Away. Oh, it's a water video. Interesting. We haven't heard Jonathan Vigil sing clean that much.
No. I'm trying to think if there's any songs.
There's the gang vocals in Engine 45, but that's gang vocals.
Yeah.
It's not solid lead singer energy.
Well.
Damn,
Well.
son. There he is. So this is what Chris meant when he said that there's going to be a lot of surprises.
Yeah. Which isn't, I don't think it's a bad surprise.
Not in the slightest. Like,
There'll be all the people like, oh, wow, clean singing. Get over it. If it's a good song, it's a good song.
oh, you guys just sound like this band or this. No, they fucking don't. Like, this is a brand new era of the Ghost Inside. And I tell you what,
Well, he was saying like...
Jonathan's got some pipes on him, man.
Yeah, and he was saying, like, obviously the last album was their return album. And he said they played it a bit safe. They just delivered
A Ghost Inside record.
Yeah, what you'd expect. So this is the album where they've actually been like, right, let's just do what we want to do.
Yeah. And if this is what they wanted to do, then fuck me. Oh, still got the fucking riffs as well. That speed up as well. Yeah. Oh,
The battle platform.
yeah. Oh my God.
Nice.
Rewind that.
I love a good choke.
Yeah.
Cymbal choke.
Oh, oh, that's so satisfying. Mate. Not your standard breakdown. Yeah, not your standard breakdown. No build, just sucker punch straight out of second chorus.
Yeah. And side note, I wouldn't recommend playing your instrument
Underwater.
or in this much rain,
Yeah.
because it will ruin it.
Yeah.
But they sound great.
They sound fucking amazing.
I imagine this is live, yeah? Live recorded. Sounds
Live
amazing.
from the bottom of a lake. Jeez.
Do you know what? He's got a great singing voice.
Dude, where has this been hiding the entire time the Ghost Inside have been a band? Like, if Jonathan Virgil had the capacity to do this the entire time, why has he waited this long?
I know. He's been having those chords away.
Anna.
Become too much, like the pouring rain. We can wash it away. When you've had enough, and it starts to flood, we can break like a tidal wave and wash it away.
Holy shit. That's fucking huge, man. Brand new music from the Ghost Inside, Wash It Away.
Break like a tidal wave and wash it away.
Fuck with that riff as well. What a band. What a fucking band, man.
Very nice.
Holy shit, that is huge. Well, if you're watching right now, what do you make of that brand new music from the Ghost Inside off their forthcoming record, Searching for Solace, which is going to be out April this year? Wash It Away.
Yeah, different direction, but still got the riffs, still got the heaviness.
There's nothing.
I love that breakdown.
Yeah. There's nothing to hate in that. Like, if you're a Ghost Inside fan, like, that is the best evolution of this band you could possibly hope for.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Unless you're one of those that's like, where?
I don't like change.
Why don't they just play the same song that I like all the time? It's like the band from Star Wars Cantina, the Cantina band. And it's like, any requests? Play the same song again.
Oh, well, the Ghost Inside definitely aren't a fucking canteen band. They are pushing envelopes, boundaries, and making all sorts of waves, especially on that brand new song, Wash It Away. Let's go. Back in the UK later on this year for Slam Dunk Festival.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good stage. I Prevail,
Yep.
Funeral,
Yep.
Let's Get Andrea.
Yep. Ghost
Ghost
Inside.
Inside.
Set It Off are on that stage as well.
The Blackout on that stage.
The Blackout are indeed on that stage, doing the best in town in its entirety. STF
Boyos.
Uppercut.
Yeah.
What a fucking rage that is.
Just thinking, do you reckon, going back to that music video, do you reckon they use like old instruments to record those videos? Because they know they're going to get soaked. They know they're going to get wet. Or do you reckon they get sent one just to destroy?
Or do they have a guitar tech that hollows out all of the electrics and takes out all the electricity?
Yeah, I could do. But then it's still, I can't imagine it's good.
Like the water damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on the wood. Yeah, wood and water infamously don't
Because
get
I've always
along with
wondered
each
that.
other.
And like, because there's so many music videos that are like, they're just playing in the rain.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you do with that instrument afterwards?
Yeah. Tell you what,
Probably
like,
is salvageable,
but if you're one of those bands that are big enough, those guitars probably go off to like Hard Rock Cafe or something like that and get hung on a wall. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if
or,
there's like,
do you know what? It's probably like, if you got an endorsement, you just message the company
Yeah.
and be like, oh, I need to film this music video. We're going to get soaked.
yeah,
And they'll be like, yeah, we'll send you a guitar.
yeah, like,
So it's not even like your guitar.
yeah, we just
Throw
need a
away.
placeholder if that's cool.
Yeah. It's a good thing about endorsements.
Yeah.
Wish we had an endorsement.
Anna, I tell you what we need an endorsement for is chairs, because these chairs are so uncomfortable.
My back is, yeah.
Dude, whenever I have to sit on these chairs and edit anything, it's
My back isn't even on the back of the seat. It's
Yeah, no, I spent half the show at my back on the back of the chair either. Well, my friends, we are but minutes away from being joined by today's guest, which is Lee from Saints the Undead Clothing. And in fact, whilst we wait for Lee, let's pull up some of Lee's work just so you can have a little look. I do believe we've got an Instagram tab open just there. So if you do a search,
Come on.
there it is.
There we go. Let's get it up.
Bang. So this is,
Oh, wait.
well,
Well, he's entered the chat.
in fact, we'll have to hit pause on that. We can actually pull that up during the interview because,
We can see his name.
yeah,
We can't see his face just yet.
let's hit on.
Hello.
Hello.
Lee, we can hear you, but we can't see you. Is your video turned on?
Hang on. Let's try this. Can you see us?
There,
Bang!
there we go.
There we go. Well, my
The
friends,
newbie to Zoom, sorry.
please welcome to the show and show a lot of love and appreciation for Lee from Saints of the Undead.
No. It's a 2-man applause.
Yeah, there we go. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Good.
all good. All the better for seeing you. How's life going at the moment?
Yeah, really good. Really, really good. Just loving life at the minute. I really am. So
I'm liking
no
how
complaints here.
I'm liking the aesthetics you've set up for this shot. It's perfect, perfectly framed for your work in the background.
This is just where I spend most of my day in here. Obviously, the jackets aren't normally there, but I thought I would just put them in for some effect.
Oh hell yeah, we appreciate the framing. So this is where the magic happens in terms of your business.
Yeah, it is just my spare bedroom.
Damn.
About 12 by 8 foot, yeah. So hopefully in a couple of years' time, I'll be able to get a bit of a studio built on the side of the house. But it is just like the other side of this camera is just gear everywhere. So this bit looks nice, but that bit doesn't.
Bro, that's amazing that you've built such an internationally recognizable brand basically out of your spare room.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It's been hard. It's been a long journey, but the past couple of years have been quite. Yeah, they've just been something else to the point where I can obviously do this full time now. So that's always been the dream.
Let's go. Well, tell us about your journey then. How did you get into all of this? Where did you start?
I was in a band for like 10 years throughout my 20s. And kind of at the end of that, I wanted us to, we were just wearing like camo shorts and band tees. And I just wanted us to look a certain way. So I said, oh, why don't we use like jackets, make some jackets? So we just kind of started doing them ourselves. There was only 4 of us in, so we just didn't really know what we were doing. And I liked it. I like being creative. So when the band finished, I just kind of needed that creativity, just something for me to do.
Yeah.
And it just went from there. Just made a few denim jackets and stuff. Then people wanted to buy a couple. And for the first, I would say, about 5-6 years, it was just basically that, a couple of jackets every other month or something like that. But in, God, what is it now, 2024? In 2018, I put a website up, put a few T-shirts up as well, a couple of jackets, and then just kind of built from there, really.
So is all the designs done by you? Or like, do you like draw them out or do the graphic design sort of thing?
Yeah, so like the ones behind the prints I've got are just been done kind of on an iPad, just
Amazing.
For like the T-shirts and stuff like that. And we've outsourced maybe 1 or 2. I think it was just like a logo we've kind of outsourced, just I didn't have the time to do it. But everything else is kind of done by myself, yeah.
Damn. And being a music show, don't think we can just gloss over this. You said you used to be in a band. What was your band called and what did you do?
So the band was called Fallen Fate. We were kind of thrash / metalcore. It kind of changed from release to release, and we did well. Like we played Download Festival twice. Played Woodstock. Yeah, like not on the main bill. It was like, do you remember? I mean, we're talking like 10, 12 years ago now. But on like the day before, on the Thursday, do you remember the comedy tents?
Yeah,
like that one. They used to have bands on there. I think they still might do. So we kind of, because we headlined that one, we were the last band to go on and that. And then the year afterwards, we were on like the forums used to have this kind of barbecue on the 3rd stage the day before as well. So we played that as well. So we weren't on like the main kind of bill, but I can say I played Download twice. So I'm going to hang on to that for as long as I live.
Fuck yeah, that's legitimate as anything, man. So what was your role in the band?
So I was a guitarist originally, and then we released an EP, then the singer left, so I was doing guitars and vocals. But that was pretty much, it's kind of like what this is to me now. It was kind of my baby. I did everything, writing, recording, merch, website, pretty much everything. So everything from that transitioned over to this, really.
Damn. So you're very much a guy that once you start creating something, like you go all in on the creative process, like learning every micro element of it.
Yeah, pretty much everything I've learned from band to clothing, I've just learned by myself.
I think it's like, it's one of those things. I'm quite similar because I did music growing up, but then got into video editing, and it's just nice to have this like creative output. Like it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
What, as long as I'm just creating something, I feel like I'm happier, and I feel like that's it shows in your work.
I felt like I've done something and I can see it, and I know I've done that, and it's like gives me a bit of self-worth from my job side of things. Obviously, family and everything's different, but from my job, I want to have, I don't know, leave a bit of legacy behind. I've done something with my time.
And it's just cool, like something that's come from your brain just ends up on someone's body.
Yeah, it's like I always compare myself to a tattooist. I think where their art goes on someone's body and mine goes on a jacket. But I guess with mine, people can then sell it where you can't really sell your skin unless I do like we do in the future. I don't know.
There's some black markets.
So I've got this back piece that I'm just trying to get rid of. Does anyone want it?
Go on the dark web.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I met you at Manchester HorrorCon with Cookie, and I loved your stand because of the way in which like you laid out all of your work, and there was I believe there's like a monitor there showing like a reel of your stuff as well. And I'd never thought about this from like a clothing aspect, but how important are conventions to someone who creates in the way that you create? Because it seemed as though, like, I remember chatting to you, like you're making some sales that weekend, but it was also like really cool for people who've seen your work on other people to come meet you and talk to you about it.
Yeah. I've done Tattoo Fest in the past, and they're a bit hit and miss because you think tattoo and kind of alternative stuff go hand in hand, but a lot of the time it doesn't. So half the people that were walking past at those kind of conventions weren't bothered. But obviously at the horror convention, it was like everyone's there and everyone's there for that reason. So thanks for saying about the stand. I really think the visual is quite really important as well, kind of like it is on a jacket. I want when people walk past my stand to notice it. Even just putting some daft neon lights up as well, I think catches some people's eyes.
Hell yeah.
So the TV, yeah, I liked having the TV up. It showed some of my previous work that wasn't there. But yeah, it was really cool that people came over and people were just watching the telly a lot because they'd see kind of Rhea on there, or they'd see Motionless In White on there. So they were just kind of watching the telly more than interested in me at the time, which was cool. And then they just potter off and come back a couple of hours there.
I feel like
I really like those conventions.
I feel like your designs are very like horror-esque. Is that like an inspiration for you for some of your work?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started doing the leather stuff and even some of the denims, I was always interested in having like the big, like a big ghost face on the back or a pinhead, just a really big image on the back. Yeah. And obviously those horror villains are great for that. Even stuff like skulls, I love having like a big skull on the back, just like really big back piece. But horror just goes really, really well with the stuff I do. So, and obviously I love it as well. So I just, it's perfect really.
Do you ever like, when you draw in those sort of things, do you like put some music on to get you in the mood for it?
It's weird. Sometimes it depends what mood I'm in. I'll either have music on, movies, podcasts, sometimes series, or just sometimes just silence. It sounds weird, but sometimes just being in the zone and drawing something and just having no other distraction is dead nice. But sometimes I'll just have just metal playing really loud, and that's just as good. It's strange. It totally depends on the day and how I'm feeling.
That's amazing. And like on the note of your designs, like I know you mentioned that like your backstory is kind of like, you know, being in bands and wanting to do your own sort of like creative on that side of things. But how did you find out that you're good at something like this? Like, you know, when it came to like the band decision, it was like, were you good at drawing or anything like that that meant that you kind of could put together a design and color schemes? Or was it just the fact that you were like, fuck it, let's just give it a go, see what happens?
I've always been like, when I was a kid, I used to draw, and like I think I was okay as a kid, but I was never like, I couldn't draw something just from my head and go, you know, you see some artists and they're amazing and they just can draw anything, and like people's faces and hands and stuff like that, they're like the hardest things to draw and they can just seem to do it from the head. I can't do that. I need some reference material to draw from, and I feel like I'm good at looking at something and then interpreting it and then drawing from that, but I'm not like a super arty guy where if I went to art school, I probably would have failed. It's that type of thing, you know. But I only got into the painting side of it a couple of years back. It was more with denims, it was like cutting materials out and sticking stuff onto it, like making a Frankenstein jacket almost. Getting bits of material or cutting bits of t-shirt up. Just because I thought that was a bit different. It was a bit kind of grungy and kind of looks a bit dirty but cool at the same time. But it's only been the past 3 years or so I started to paint. And even that start was a bit of a shit show to start off, to be fair. Like, it wasn't great, but I've kind of just, I don't know, I'm quite patient with it. And when I can see the finished product in my head, I'm just driven to kind of get to it. So I think that's kind of where it comes from.
What's like the average time it takes to do like a big piece?
Usually about 2 days, maybe.
Damn.
That's from the start of studding and spiking and all the painting, but it depends if there's a lot of detail in it. It might take a bit longer, but sometimes it depends on the size as well. If you've got a small ladies jacket, it's going to be quicker than like a 3XL jacket. But yeah, about 2 days, I'd say.
Damn. And like with something like this, how do you know when it's finished? Because I feel like with what you do, it's one of those things that you could keep adding stuff to or keep finding stuff and be like, oh, maybe I could change this or I could add this or I could do this. Like, do you have to have a bit of self-discipline where you're like, no, this project's done, don't touch it anymore, leave it there?
Yeah. I think with my designs, I always want it to be not too customized, so not too over the top, because I want people to be able to wear it to a gig or an event, but then they can go down the pub in it as well. Do you know what I mean? Or they can go on like a shopping day and kind of just put it over the top some casual clothes and it not look out of place. So obviously if the customer wants it to be over the top, that's great, but I think my normal style would be to have it customized but not over the top, and that's why you're saying I could then add loads more studs or more paintwork here, but I think negative spaces are just as important as filled spaces as well, so it kind of amplifies the other bits.
100%.
So that's my discipline that I'm still kind of toying with sometimes.
Because like we're the same with this show. We're like, oh, we could do this, let's just try and like not overcomplicate things. Like when we first started, I was like, let's go like 5 days a week, and Ollie was like, cool, do you want to book in 5 guests every single week?
Sometimes less is more, especially with us.
100%. Well, I mean, speaking of this show, we've actually spoken to a couple of people that you've worked with. We've had Ricky from Motionless in White, and we've had Brandon from Atreyu on this show before, both of which have sported proudly some of your creations. How did it come to be that you met and came across these guys, and how did they end up working with you?
I guess everyone's got a different type of story. Ricky was obviously from Chris when I did Chris's jacket, and then I did one for Ryan, and then on the latest tour, Ricky then wanted one as well. So it's literally every kind of encounter has been, from my memories, through Instagram. That's basically just where everything goes. All the wrestlers, all the bands is literally just Instagram. A couple of emails here and there, but it's mainly just through there.
Who was like
and everyone's been. Sorry.
Who was like the first like big name you got?
The first one was New Year's Day. So that was a bit of it was hard, that one, because Ash messaged me and said, oh, we've got this video shoot and we want to get some jackets for the guys. So I was like, cool. And it was like the biggest kind of job I'd had so far. And then she sent jackets over for the guys, and they got stuck in customs for literally about 4 weeks. And my ass was like just going, and I was like, I was ringing like everyone, UPS, border control, anyone I could speak to, and they were just like, oh, just they come when they come. And it was kind of like at the back end of COVID, so everyone would just use that as an excuse. And I was like, shit. And then I think they came, we had 4 jackets to and 4 sleeveless jackets, and they came with literally about a week to spare before I had to ship them back. And I was just like, I'm not going to get this done. So I hammered them out and got half of them done for the video shoot, got them back, and they literally arrived with them on the morning of the video shoot. So it was like the metal gods were kind of in my favor.
Yeah, they were.
Because if they hadn't arrived and they didn't wear that for that video shoot, then maybe the next thing wouldn't have happened. And do you know what I mean? So it's scary how these little things could just, everything could be different.
Yeah, man. Like sometimes you just need one thing to fall your way, and like all of a sudden it's like, cool, now we go. Yeah.
There's one multiverse where you're just an accountant or something.
Yeah. I still work at my old job, which was I was working for a credit card literally last year.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome though. So you've been able to say goodbye to that life and just focus full time on this then?
Yeah, I worked in retail for like 14 years, and then I moved over to work for a bank for like 3 years. But I was working from home, so I could still do some stuff, kind of in my lunch and stuff like that when I was working sometimes. And there, I've just kind of made the choice in summer last year that I needed to just to go for it. I was getting really kind of stressed that I couldn't, and because obviously I've got a house, I've got a wife, I've got a child, and it's like, is this going to be sufficient for me to cover my wages? You know, all that stuff to think of, like any self-employed person does. But it's been literally the best decision I could have done,
Hell yeah.
by far, by far.
Oh, that's amazing. And I mean, did that decision last summer just so happen to coincide with around the time of like AEW All In, where you stood in a stadium watching someone come to the ring wearing your work and then winning a title?
It was a bit before that, so I'd already done Saraya's jacket back in January. That was the same type of thing with New Year's Day. I'd done the first jacket for Saraya, and then I hadn't heard anything. She said she liked it and stuff like that, and then I was like, okay, when do you want it? And then I heard nothing for a couple of days, and then it was like on a Sunday night, and it was either her or one of her assistants said, right, we need this jacket for Wednesday in LA, can you get it? And I was like, you know, I'm in the UK, right? Oh yeah, so literally UPS pulled a worldie and got it to them again. It was on the morning on the Wednesday, and it got there, so she wore it on that day. But the Wembley thing was crazy. Like, the show was great, and she wore the jacket and the little headpiece I did for her. And we met her afterwards, and she had the title and stuff like that, and all of her family was there, and it was just like we were sat in like the royal box. Like, what am I doing sat there? Like, you know what I mean?
You've earned your seat there, sir. That's exactly what you're doing there.
But yeah, it was mental. It was a really good show as well. I've already booked up for next year.
Sick.
Yeah, it was such a good show.
And let's hope lightning can strike twice and Saraya picks up the title again away from Tony Storm. But one thing I wanted to ask you, man, is like, dude, you have got champions associated with your work. Like, is it the case that as soon as someone gets something from you, like their career just takes off? Because because Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank, Rhea Ripley, women's champion, Saraya comes to the ring wearing your gear, immediately AEW women's champion.
And I like that spell where, like, well, I guess two of them were Sly. It was just mad seeing like my logo on a jacket and then the belt. It was just like, I've been watching wrestling since I was like 8 or something. So seeing that is just a bit of a mindfuck. Oh,
so you were a long-time wrestling fan as well. So this kind of means more to you because you've like seen the evolution of wrestling gear over the years.
Yeah, back from like Ultimate Warrior, I think that was the first kind of time I started watching wrestling. Yeah. I always remember one that sticks in my head vividly where he was like thick and it was like this kind of like he wore multicolored stuff and drapes, didn't he? And he was like spewed this multicolored stuff. I don't know if that is a memory or not, but I remember it. And that's my first memory of wrestling back in the day. And obviously through the years with The Rock and Stone Cold and The Undertaker, they were the kind of prime years, I think. But I'm really enjoying watching wrestling the past couple of years now. I think it's really, really picked up from a bit of a lull about maybe it's 10 years ago.
Oh, 100%. Like, I was the biggest wrestling kid growing up, like Attitude Era, Jeff Hardy, like circa WrestleMania 17 still inspires how I dress as a grown man. But for me, I kind of fell out of love with it around about John Cena taking over for a bit too long when it went like just Cena wins LOL. Like that was basically
when it went more PG, didn't it?
Yeah, and like
really PG, didn't it?
Yeah, and it just made it harder to love the product, and like it came a bit like uncool to like wrestling. And then it was NXT that actually wrote me back in to wrestling, and it was like the class of like Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor when they came over to wrestle at Wembley for NXT. That was what got me back into it.
Wow, I didn't know they came over to Wembley. Was that just the arena?
Yeah, that was just the arena. That was NXT, and I want to say Finn Balor headlined that show, and I want to say it was either Samoa Joe or Shinsuke that he beat for the NXT title. But one thing I did want to ask you about, now that I know that you're into wrestling as a long-term fan as well, was there anything from either like wrestling or metal music that kind of like inspired your taste in fashion in that way? Were there any people that you remember going and idolizing from a fashion standpoint?
I mean, I was a fan of the Hardys as well. Later, I was such a big fan. So obviously, I guess the big kind of black camos that the Hardys used to wear with like the skinny tops and the stuff on their arms,
the fishnets.
Like that. And that was like, that was a vibe. But I didn't really kind of copy it too much because I think it would have been a bit too much for me to be walking about with that. I did have long hair at the time and a massive beard, so maybe I was too metalheady looking to do it. You know what I mean? I was kind of stuck in the, I don't know, the.
It's like the early
Don't even know what to
2000s.
call it.
Early 2000s, like, I don't know, new metal-y phase, wasn't it?
It wasn't new metal. It was like new wave of American metal, so Lamb of Gods,
Yeah,
Killswitch, that type of stuff. Unearth, Shadows Fall. That was kind of what I was into. So I had long hair, big beard, and I had that throughout most of my 20s, to be fair. So yeah, I was definitely camos or black jeans, and I'll say that I've got black jeans and a top on now. But I've got the short hair, no beard now, so I can maybe.
Yeah, we both of us turned
fast.
babyface towards the end because I did start of my 20s. I had a big beard as well. It looked like a rodent had died on the lower half of my face. It was horrific.
Just aging backwards, both of you.
Genuinely. Well, speaking of pro wrestling, like without a shadow of a doubt, the most dominant women's champion of recent memory. In fact, like the last time there was this amount of hype around a women's champion, like was either China, like when China was being dominant, or maybe like the man era of Becky Lynch's reign. But Rhea Ripley is coming to the ring and 9 times out of 10 wearing something that you've made either on pay-per-view or weekly television. Like, how insane has that been for your business, having such major support from such a major role model at the moment?
Yeah, she's massive, isn't she? And she deserves everything because she's so good. Like, she's like, do you know when Stone Cold was a heel, but everyone still loved him?
Yeah.
Like, and you're trying to be a baddie, but everyone just cheers you anyway. She's that, isn't she? She's like the new Stone Cold. And I just love her. She's class. Making stuff for her is so easy, and she's really nice and really kind of just really appreciative of what I do. Obviously, some people you work with are like, making me this, you send it, they say cheers, but she's like dead thankful and stuff like that. And we got to meet her at a show in Newcastle as well. And she was just dead nice. Just the perfect person to kind of work with, and the fact that she's doing what she's doing and kind of reinventing almost especially for women. It's just, yeah, I'm really, really lucky to be able to work with her.
How did it first come about, this relationship?
I was following her, and I think she kind of saw some like reels I'd done. Maybe I think it was Motionless In White jackets. I did like a reel of a couple of ones that I'd done. So I think she just messaged me and said, "Really like the work you do," and I was like, "Oh shit, great." And I think I must just saying, anytime you want anything making, then let me know. And then it just went silent for a couple of months, which I didn't expect anything else. And then I think it was before WrestleMania last year. I think I just thought, okay, I'll go for it. And I just sent her a message saying, "Do you want something making for WrestleMania?" And she was like, "Yeah." So I just that was the first jacket I'd done. And I was like,
Thing is,
Bro, the grandest stage of them all, and that is where she's debuting your work. Are you kidding?
it's like you're already in the DMs. You might as well shoot.
Oh yeah, 100%. You don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. It was the same as with Saraya as well. I just thought the same thing. I pitched an idea to her. I think it was when she released the first T-shirt that I put on the back of the first jacket. I think it was like it was like a coffin, or I'm not sure what it was, with the green one. And I just pitched her an idea and said, "This will look really cool." Pitched the whole idea, and she was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So, don't ask, you don't get.
That's fucking amazing, man, and inspirational as well. Like very, very inspirational. And in fact, before I leave wrestling, one thing I did want to ask is like, are there anything that you have to bear in mind whilst making stuff for wrestlers? Like, these aren't clothes that they take bumps in, but they might. Like, it could be like it's something they wear to a ring, but like, say for example, Rhea could be coming out of the title and someone could jump her from the back and she's still wearing your stuff. So it's like, did you have to bear that in mind whilst putting together? It's like, hey, they might have to take bumps in these at some point.
Kind of. It probably gives me the most anxiety when I'm seeing them walk down, and when I see them take it off. You know, when the camera hasn't cut, and I'm like, and they just high it, don't they? They high the jacket, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I know it's not mine anymore, but I made that. Just be careful with it, please.
Someone pick that up.
And then, yeah. And the other week, Priest came down in the newest jacket we'd done for him. Fucking love that jacket. I think it looks really cool, really suits him. And then I think McIntyre just absolutely booted him one against the corner of the ring. And I was like, no.
Please take the jacket off first.
No. And like, I shouldn't care, but I do. But it's just, I don't know.
Well, in fact, actually, now that I think about it, your work might be being worn twice in one night, because I think Motionless in White have just been named like the theme song for the pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So there's a strong chance if Rhea comes to the ring wearing your stuff and Motionless in White are on some sort of video packet wearing your work, you could be twice in one night on a WWE product.
It'd be good if they because I know at WrestleMania they used to have bands play them in, didn't they? I know they did for Rhea a couple of years back at WrestleMania. So that'd be cool, yeah.
Damn, imagine that, dude. Like it's amazing though, because like when I grew up watching wrestling, I remember thinking like you see these people wearing these clothes that you never see in day-to-day life, but then people as they get older, they try and take like bits of inspiration, when like whether it's the Hardy Boys with the trousers or like, you know, like the fishnet tops or whatever, they try and incorporate bits of them. And I like to think there's probably going to be a crop of like, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds who at the moment are watching people like Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley who are working out in the gym to I Prevail and Motionless in White, and they're looking at your clothing, hopefully one day going to go, actually, do you know what? I want to dress like that. I want to try and find where these clothes are coming from.
How old are these kids in the gym?
7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds in the gym.
9-year-olds just pumping in the gym. Just Motionless in White.
Banging pre-workout before school.
I've never thought of that. That's a really nice thought, actually. Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't doubt that one day that you're probably going to have some young wrestling fan being like, I saw your work on Rhea Ripley, like, let me get one of these.
Yeah, but that's why I love what I do, because like we're booked up till like June next year with custom orders, and like people say like the same type of thing, like I'm getting one of your jackets and you've made it for so and so, and that just makes me feel really nice, and I'm even more pressure to do a really good job for them, you know.
And you've got the web store as well, which has obviously like hoodies and t-shirts and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, we've got the merch and stuff on that. I don't promote it at all. I really don't.
Well, let us help you out now. Talk about it and we'll clip it and we'll whack it out for you, bro.
Well, on the website, I mean, they've got t-shirts, beanies, hoodies, all kind of designed by myself. But like I say, we don't really promote it. So it's there. So if people go on the website to look at jackets and stuff like that, they'll see that's there. I mean, it works fine. It all kind of sells and stuff like that. But it's mainly when we do like kind of horror releases. That's kind of when big interest comes, because people can kind of resonate with the movies and the favorite ones and stuff like that. So that's what we've started to do recently with the more kind of horror themes, especially around Halloween.
Hell yeah. And in terms of the stuff that you got moving forward, is there anything that you're working on at the moment that you can tell us about that won't get you in any trouble? Is there anything exciting coming up out of your bookings between now and next year?
I've just sent one to Rhea a couple of days ago, but I'm not going to say what it's for. And I've just had something confirmed today, which is really, really big. Probably maybe some of the biggest stuff I've done, but I can't say what it is yet. So I'm really, really excited about that. And I've got another potential one that, again, could be like one of the biggest kind of things I've done for someone. But it's with these things, people talk to you, then they disappear for a couple of weeks, and then you think it's not going to happen, and then all of a sudden they go, all right, let's start, and you're like, oh, fuck, okay. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed on that last one.
I think it's just like the more big names you get, the more people are going to want to work with you. So just like snowballs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we did those New Year's Day jackets, that gave me credibility to say, okay, so this guy can do something, and someone with a big name trusts him, and do you know what I mean? So before that, it was hard to kind of break into that. But it's all about credibility. And I feel like I'm really easy to work with. I like to put my ideas across and collaborate with whoever it is I'm working with. And 9 times out of 10, they'll kind of give me that, which is really kind of nice to have that trust from them.
Hell yeah. What's the hardest piece that you've ever had to put together? Like, what's the one that's like taking you the longest, and the one that you're like, you look back on it, you're like, I enjoyed that, but that was a motherfucker to put together?
I don't think any of them, to be fair. I don't. They've all been
good at what you do.
Some have been hard, but like the first one we did for Rhea, that was quite tricky because the back had like wings on the back, but then that went on to, I did 2 for Priest that have had the same, and it's kind of anything you do that is symmetrical on either side. So I just do it freehand, and it's kind of, you do one side, then it's like, oh shit, I need to match it up now, and it's like it's just using my eyes basically. I don't use any rulers or tape or anything. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite tough. So I guess they are the tough ones, but they're the ones that normally look the best once they're done.
Sick.
Worth it.
Damn, as if you freehand it as well. I'd be too anxious, man. I'd have to stencil absolutely everything. Like my hands are just like, oh.
No,
Damn.
it's I think that's probably one of the stuff I do. To be fair, if I showed someone how to do it, they probably could learn it quite quick. But I think my skill would be the vision to kind of see what someone wants, and then I can see the finished product and that kind of size placement, so I can see the size of what I want to do and I can freehand it. So I'm lucky that I can do that quite easily. So I think if I struggled with that, then I would struggle to do some of the pieces that I do.
I wonder, do you ever worry that it's not going to fit when you send it
Yeah.
over?
Yeah.
Like,
I've not had anyone complain yet. That I can remember. So yeah, that's always because obviously UK to US or Europe, it's like
Yeah.
someone will say I'm a small, and you go, well, what is that? Is that like a lady's size 8, or do you know what I mean? So you've always got that little bit of fear. So if you've ever got that, it's always better to go maybe a size up, because I think sometimes when it's a custom piece, even if it's a bit oversized, it looks cool.
yeah.
Especially on ladies, I think they can pull off the kind of oversized baggy look. But yeah, that it is a bit of a anxiety buster, that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Thinking if they get it and it doesn't fit, and I'm like, oh, shit, what am I going to do now? I can't like make it smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for a pro wrestler as well, because like their bodies can change like quite dramatically depending on whether they're on a pay-per-view cycle or not.
Yeah, Rhea's like, obviously she's hench and she wants like the smallest jackets, and I'm like, really, is this going to fit you? And she's like, yeah. And then because obviously it looks nice and tight on it, it makes it look even bigger then. So I guess that's why they get them smaller. But that's fine by me. I can get more kind of stuff on it then, and everything looks better on a smaller jacket because I can make things really big and it fills it out more.
And if it doesn't fit, just make it sleeveless. So you can just take them off.
Well, that's the good thing with the sleeveless ones, because it's, even if it's tight under your arms, you can still kind of get away with it. So, but with the sleeved ones, if it gets to there and you can't get it down, then I've got a problem.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Are there any bands that you'd love to collab with that you haven't like worked with already? Like any bands that like, if they approach you, be like, firstly, this is a tick off the bucket list, but secondly, like, I've got so many ideas as to what I could do with you.
Yeah. I mean, Ice Nine Kills, it would be one to go with, because obviously horror and stuff like that. And, but I know the kind of the last tour and cycle of the one suit, so I don't know how that would work. But you never know. I don't know what they're going to do on the next one. That would be cool. I don't know. I think I've kind of been in this. It's strange because we've done New Year's Day, we've done Motionless in White, and Rhea, and both of them bands have done entrance songs to Rhea. So it was kind of like a cool little gang I was in. Even though I was probably not in the gang, I was the outsider, but I still felt like I was in it.
Hell yeah, you are.
So and then Atreyu was a band that I've kind of loved for years, growing up, and that was cool when that one came along. But just literally, I mean, I want to say one, but that's kind of the one that I've not been said earlier, so I can't really say it. So that's why I'm kind of like keeping everything crossed for that one, so I don't really want to give that one away.
No, we won't press you anymore, but like hopefully that dream does come true, because you absolutely deserve it, man. Like your stuff's fucking amazing, but like what I love about your story is it's dripping in independency as well. Like everything that you've done has been the definition of independent. Like we're big on the show about supporting independent. Like the first guest that we had on was Ralph from Shikari. They are possibly the most independent band on the biggest scale in the UK at the moment. And I mean, Cookie at the moment is setting up her own custom range of clothing stuff. And as someone who has been in that position, setting up, taking a leap into the unknown, trusting your skill set, what advice would you give to anyone like Cookie in that position who is just about to venture out into, especially like the clothing industry, which is very different, music and television and movies? Like what advice would you give to anyone who's looking to go at clothing independently?
I saw the little promo she put up, and it looked really cool. It looked really cool, the little video thing. So straight away, that's a big tick. I think it takes time. It does. Like, so I've been doing this 10 years now. It's only been the past couple of years where I've had like some success. Try not to be too hard on yourself. Keep learning. Don't get stuck in the same shit. Keep on trying to do new things. And I think when you've got your products, get them. It sounds daft, but just get them photographed well. So, because everyone's scrolling Instagram and everyone's scrolling past shit, and you want something to make someone stop and have a look at it. So, I spend a lot of time editing my Instagram photos. So, hopefully, it gives it the most pop, so people would stop and have a look. And apart from that, there's not really much else I can give. It's a bit of a long slog.
I guess sort
a
of
lot of people. Yeah, go ahead.
sort of know your audience as well, because I imagine because obviously your sort of style caters to a certain demographic. And I guess do you like target your sort of ads to that, or is there any?
I don't use ads anymore. I used to, but I never got any traction from them. If I'm being honest,
really?
I've spent money on ads and it was pointless.
I suppose when your stuff's being repped on like major television networks in the United States of America, it's does an Instagram sponsor post really matter now?
No, but even before that, I was even before that happened, I was still doing sponsored posts on Instagram with the jackets, kind of photographed in the same way. And if anything, I felt like it was making the posts less engaging. What I found, anyway, I don't know what it's like now, but it's interesting about demographic because you'd see people and you'd go, that person would love a jacket, and then they don't. It's normally the people, especially on Instagrams, a lot of people who maybe are a bit more introvert and shy, maybe like those things, and I'll get DMs from people booking in who are more like that. Maybe a piece like that will give them more confidence to go out and kind of it's a bit of a showcase for them. So I really like getting those people in and making something for them, because if that gives them like that confidence to go out and be more confident, that's brilliant.
Hell yeah. Well, Lee, we can't thank you enough for your time today, my friend. Like, it has been an honor to chat to you and to listen to your story. But before we let you go, where can people find your stuff? Where can people support you, help you out?
So everything's on my website. So if people want to book in, it is mainly through Instagram. I'll reply to anyone who messaged me. So if anyone wants to book in for a jacket, they can go through there and have a chat, or our website, saintandundead.com. There's an email address there, there's a chat function. It all comes to me. It's literally just me doing everything. So any place you come through, it'll come through to me. And then we'll just have a chat and see what you want to do.
Hell yeah. And are you doing any of the festivals this summer in the UK, like Slam Dunk, Download, Bloodstock, any of those?
I'd like to do Slam Dunk, but from the horror stories from last year, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be sorted, but I'm not entirely sure.
Just don't drive.
I'd love to do Download again, but I haven't been for so long. I don't know if I can hack it in a tent now. I'm getting close to 40. I don't know if I can sleep in a tent anymore. And Bloodstock, I love Bloodstock, but it's just the cost, and then it's time away from work. I need to think about those things now.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I'd love to go to all of them, to be fair. I love going to festivals. I think it's so cool.
Well, fingers crossed you find some time in your busy schedule for a festival this season. Otherwise, we'll try and cross paths at AEW's All-In show at Wembley Stadium later on, where fingers crossed Saraya can go 2 for 2, wearing a gear to the ring and picking up a belt. But Lee, thank you so much for your time today, my friend. Show a lot of love and appreciation for Saints of the Undead clothing.
Cheers, Lee.
No worries, bro. Thank you so much. Take care, man.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. Bye. Oh, what a fucking legend, man. What a fucking geezer.
Like, so impressive. It's just him.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Like, when
out of his spare room.
Yeah. And like, I hope that to anyone who's watching this episode right now, that inspires you, because it is quite literally that easy of just going, cool, I got a bit of spare space in my house. I'm going to do this with it.
It's one of those things is like, he started off as a hobby and doing it on the side, and then a few years down the line, it's his full-time job now. Yeah. So if you've got a business idea, if you've got a dream, just do it.
Yeah. Don't talk about it. Just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. Just like we decided to do with this show. This show is pretty much me going to Ollie like, hey, I've got this idea. And Ollie was like, right, rein your neck in a little bit and then let's talk. Like,
I was like, do I have to be on it?
Yeah, like the amount of back and forth between me and Ollie, me having to persuade him to get on camera, because he's good. He's so fucking good at doing this.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I was just going to leave loads of silence there.
Well, my friends, that is the end of another episode of the Jon Mahon Show. But before we get out of here, I can actually tell you, I will tell you, because like we did talk about it on Instagram earlier, and he was like, yeah, keen for next Monday. I think I've got one guest lined up for next week. Catch him on the main stage at Download Festival 2024 on the Saturday. We're going to be joined by Ryan from The Hunter.
The Hunter?
Yeah.
Light up like a bonfire.
Yeah.
Whatever the lyric is.
Getting close. Yeah, I think they're either second or third on the main stage on the Saturday.
Nice.
a download this year. So yeah, Ryan from The Hunter is going to be joining us on Monday's show. But thank you ever so much for watching today, my friends. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Bridget and Nigel as well. We appreciate your messages. All it's left for me to say is my name's Jon Mahon. Peace and love. Stay alive.
And I'm Ollie. We're out. Go fuck yourselves.
See you next week.